Morrowind. It's a classic from a different time when things were simpler. It's a game you have probably heard about, especially if you like RPGs and sandbox games, and you will either love it or hate it. Be it the authorized graphics or the now clunky yet promising mechanics, Morrowind is an artifact of its era, an item of the past that will either taste to you like the finest aged wine, or the most bitter vinegar. But trust me that it wasn't its gameplay or graphics, which were pretty meh even for the time, which made Morrowind become a classic through time. Back in the day, it blew everyone's minds with its revolutionary open world and hundreds of options and quests that let players become any character they wanted. Even if it wasn't the first to introduce the concepts, it evolved them in ways never seen before. It made Bethesda go from a nearly bankrupt developing house to a quite successful one in the Western world. But here's the question, did Morrowind age well? Let's find out in this video. Let's be honest with ourselves, the game is old, and many other revolutionary games have come out ever since. Between the evolution of graphics, gameplay, and the standards of the industry changing, Morrowind is quite a divisive game for modern players trying it out for the first time. Let's start out with the basics. What makes the game so iconic and memorable, a masterpiece in the eyes of many, is the world that it crafted. Its setting, atmosphere, and obscure, insinuating plot. We are speaking about a world unlike anything seen before. The island of Vardenfell is a hot and dangerous wasteland made of volcanic residuals and putrid marshes where many eccentric creatures dwell. Giant insects, dinosaurs, or other wicked beings such as the undead, bandits, demons, or powerful necromages are the bread and butter of the island. It's a land occupied by an oligarchic empire, and its native citizens, the Dunmer, grey-skinned, red-eyed elves, aren't exactly fond of foreigner, or Ingwas as they like to call them. Worshipping literal demons is morally acceptable in their culture, and treason, lies, and treachery are all part of their everyday life. Quite a lovely word, isn't it? But truth is, these grey-skinned people and their culture, weird creators, and the dangerous wasteland are what ultimately make Morrowind truly shine. Despite the giant's limitations, Bethesda managed to create a wonderful beast that resembles a magical, surreal world that feels alive. The plot, which doesn't force you into anything from the very beginning, makes you evolve into this wonderful place full of eccentric elements ranging from fantasy to politic passing through sci-fi. It's a subtle story that forces you to read if you wanna know more and make the connections in your mind. Morrowind, the land of the Dunmer, truly manages to make you feel like a foreigner in a different land. Between their customs, beliefs, history, mannerisms, or architecture, it's not any generic setting to forget about once you finish playing the game. So, if Morrowind is not only great but excellent in all of this, then why is it considered an aged game, clunky and outdated to many? That's answered if we analyze the game for what it is at its core, a 2002 RPG game. Morrowind is, for lack of a better word, a broken game. Seriously, it's only as difficult as you make it out to be. It might appear that way for new players, be it those coming anew or those coming from Skyrim or Oblivion. How many of you have struggled, got frustrated, and left the game because you couldn't hit anything, or died to that mage in the cave next to Satan Inn? But this difficulty quickly fades away once you learn how the game works. Keep your stamina up, major in 1 or 2 weapon skills, and click everything until it dies, right? Maybe occasionally using 1 or 2 spells. This little secret, magic is overpowered too in Morrowind. Well, it's at the basic level just like that. It's how Bethesda designed the game. And truth is, Morrowind is a game you will most likely end up breaking at some point by its exploitative mechanics such as the spell creator, enchanting, or alchemy. You can create destruction spells that act basically as nuclear warheads and use levitation with them to ultimately become a B-29 bomber. Drink too many 45 potions as stats overstack in Morrowind, and you will end up with monstrosities such as 6-digit stats, or you will have super strong regeneration that can heal you faster than lava can damage, not to mention having acrobatics so high that let you jump from one side of the map to the other. Sounds quite wonderful, isn't it? At its core, this is an extremely outdated game design. Be this exploitable element intended by Bethesda or not, for a part, it makes you feel like the world is yours and you can become a god the more you progress. But on the bad side, it will also make you feel like you just found a way of breaking the game and cheaply win. Breaking the game might be fun at first, but at least in my experience, it gets boring fast and the game loses all challenge. This has hindered Morrowind's replayability for me, despite the multiple options and things the game gives you to do that makes it highly replayable. So, where am I going? Although for one part, the game nails the progression feeling, especially for first-time players, this won't last long before you know how to break the system. And even without exploring the game mechanics, your character will eventually become strong enough to beat the rear of the enemies that once spanked yours. Unlike a game like Oblivion, not caring about your stats doesn't matter at all in Morrowind. Most characters will become walking one-man armies by level 20 or 30. Morrowind is a game that gives you freedom when it comes to how you approach the game, and it's so unrestrictive that it doesn't even care for its sound balance. This level of brokenness makes the game feel eventually a little bit dull. Not also that, but for good or bad, the hand-placed loot in Morrowind makes it feel sometimes cheap when it comes to high-level gear you can find from level 1. Not to mention other broken mechanics such as personality, or characters such as Creeper, or the Mudcrab Merchant, who render skills like Merchant essentially useless. But hey, you might choose to ignore this and say, you don't need to boost the game systems, just play as Bethesda in testnet, right? Well, truth is that Morrowind is still broken by its own age. Let's talk about the combat. It has never been Morrowind's strength, and especially in today's age, when many other games with better combat and balanced mechanics have come out, experiencing Morrowind for the first time will make the game combat mechanics feel clunky, jarring, and even unrewarding. Ask any Morrow boomer like me about this, and many will tell you the same thing. There are better games if you want to combat. You have to keep in mind that Morrowind is a game that, especially today, you're not playing it for its gameplay itself. It's a harsh, rough game that won't forgive your mistake, won't take your hand, and won't give you instant gratification like many other products today. And the clunky combat is not the only problem the game suffers from. The characters' models and their animations are way uglier than a pavement with your cheeks. Even though this is a 2002 game, other games of similar age were much better in this regard. The NPCs are another problem. They have one of the most stupid AIs I've ever seen, constantly getting stuck everywhere or doing questionable choices. Good luck wanting not to die while you do any escort missions. And not only that, but it's as if some of them don't even have an AI to begin with. Most of them are nothing but info dispensers with no personality at all and will stand in the same place for all eternity. Other games already had NPCs with day and night routines. The menus are another problem. They are clunky, unintuitive, and a pain to navigate through. Good luck trying to find one specific potion while you have many of them, or navigate through a giant text wall while looking for a particular spell. The alchemy menus are also some of the most nausea-inducing I've ever seen out there. So, in conclusion, is Morrowind an aged game? The answer is yes. It's a game that you have to try out with a very specific mentality and lots of comprehension for its context. It's a 2002 game, and when it came out, there was nothing like it. And hey, despite all of this, Morrowind is still a gem, a masterpiece if you dare. If you play it nowadays, it is because you are here to enjoy the marvelous world of Morrowind, Open Vardenfell, and experience its weird and eccentric elements, its alien setting, its mind-thinking plot, and the bizarre characters and creators that overall make up for one of the games with the best atmospheres and personalities out there. The gameplay and the game, as a piece of software, are and will decay like rotting matter, and that's understandable. The game is old. Its developers had lots of limitations with its engine, and still, they made something amazing. Heck, the ugly graphics have lots of art style and personality onto them. Many modern games with good graphics can't say the same thing.
I have a feeling that you and I are about to become very close.
Look at this. Look at this wimp. He's short, ugly, goofy looking, and I think I'm in love. Sorry about that. Anyways, in conclusion, has Morrowind aged? The answer is yes. The game is dated and doesn't hold up to modern standards. But more than a game, the world, its storytelling, atmosphere, and characterization are what makes it a piece of art that still gives lots to talk about, even up to this day. And they are, at their core, what has given the game a place in the heart of many gamers, myself included. So, all players, please, keep recommending the game. Don't let it get forgotten. And new players, keep your stamina up all the time and remember to treat the game as the product of its time, which marked it before and an after in the history of RPGs and sandbox games. What's your opinion and story about this game? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and recommend for more videos. See you in Vardenfell!